Ayanda Mhlongo is in Babanango in Kwazulu-Natal monitoring the voter registration at this hour. Ayanda, good afternoon and thank you for your time with us at this hour. Perhaps you could give us an indication as to where you are and how many have turned out to register thus far. What is the mood and sentiment also on the ground as we speak?
Yeah, Lisa, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to our viewers. Yeah, we've moved from Babanango. We started off there this morning. We are now in Ulundi in the Zululand district. And I must say that in this particular area, they're all voting, or this district rather, should I say, Lisa, all voting stations were able to open at 8 a.m. this morning without any disruption. But of course, about an hour ago, we did get an overview from the provincial electoral officer. You were speaking there about some of the disruptions that took place in other provinces, and the same here in the province of Kwazulu-Natal, where in 8 municipalities there were disruptions this morning. Community members are protesting over service delivery related issues. You understand that some disrupted roads leading to the voting stations, others dug trenches to prevent the electoral staff from being able to access those voting stations. However, with the intervention of local leaders as well as the police service, at around 10 a.m. all voting stations, over 4,000 voting stations here in KwaZulu-Natal were up and running. Listen, here in this particular area, it's been different in different parts. So this is the second voting station that we have visited here in Ulundi, and I must say this is the busiest of the two that we have seen. We're just speaking to some of the leaders that are here, and they were telling us that there has been a steady number of people that have been coming through, some coming through to register to vote for the first time, which is quite encouraging for them, as there has been this major drive to get particularly the first time voters to come through and register to vote. And of course there are the elderly who have been coming through just to check whether or not they are still registered. Of course, at least there is that option that many South Africans do have of either voting online or checking via the SMS service. But one of the challenges with that, in particular, when you were referring to the first location that we visited earlier on this morning in Babanango, community members saying there that they have serious challenges with network. Sometimes they don't have network for over a week, and so those options would not be options that would be available to them, and also speaks to data costs. Community members there are saying that they rely solely on social grants and as well as the 350 social relief grant. And in that town, Liesl, there was absolutely nothing. There's been no development apart from a housing project in the area that was opened in 1997. There has not been any development in that particular area. And so that's where we got a lot of young people in particular who are saying that they're not interested in voting. And so they did not feel it necessary for them to register to vote, pointing to the conditions in the area in which they live, pointing to the fact that there are no jobs, there's no development, there are no clinics, there are no hospital. Children have to go to other areas in order for them to get to school. So quite a number, a large group, particularly of young people who are not happy about the circumstances, and some more saying that they're not going to register to vote. But of course, to balance that, there were some young people there who were saying that yes, despite the circumstances and despite them growing up in an area which they say is largely forgotten, they're saying that they want to go out and vote, and with their vote they're hoping that next year it will bring about a change. So different views in the areas that we've visited, certainly in the northern parts of KwaZulu-Natal. Lisa, some saying yes, they are keen to register to vote and definitely want to be amongst those South Africans that will next year be part of those that will cast their ballots. But there is, I think, due to service delivery, slow service delivery, particularly in rural areas, you do have some people that are not yet convinced, which effectively means then that the political parties still really, Liesl, have a lot of work on their hands to try and convince these voters to vote come next year.